Hey guys, welcome to this week's recap of The Real Housewives of Miami. This episode is Apology Not Accepted. This episode was too good, too fire. Oh my god. So we first get into the scene with the girls having their gringo dinner. And it's pretty much a quadruple date. So everyone brought their man. The only person who wasn't there, no, two people weren't there. Adriana and Julia and their partners. It was just the other women. They were sitting together having their men, and the food looked way too good. I was like, yes. I love when they go out and they eat such good food. I love to see it. And then when the food is being passed around and everything, you hear this irritating sound. And it's Alexia coming for Nicole. And I'm like, we're getting all this action this soon, this quick in the episode. I'm like, no way we started. Like, I had to double check to make sure I started the episode from the beginning, because I was so shocked we are just getting right into it. Because I'm like, did I skip an episode or what? And it's Alexia coming for Nicole, saying how she disrespected her home. And I'm like, oh no, the men are here too. Like, we've seen this. If you watch The Housewives, any of the franchises, when you see the men with the women and they get in the middle of the beef, the argument, oh my God. I feel like it makes it worse. I feel like the women should just argue amongst themselves and not have the husbands involved, because it just makes the issue even worse. Because now you got two people mad at you. Like, damn. And I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna get into it. And I'm like, these guys are gonna have to defend their wives. Like, what's gonna happen? But then it jumps back to one day earlier. And I'm like, okay. They got me up all the way to a 10 and they brought me back down. So we jump scene back one day earlier, and it's Alexia and Marisol, and they're going to the fat doctor. And I'm like, ugh, they could have gone to any other place. I was not too interested to seeing this fat doctor. I'm like, they're not fat. They don't need this doctor. And it's like, come on, enough focus on being skinny this and skinny that, which is true to Miami culture. But like, I don't like when this is highlighted. So they're in the office of the fat doctor, and the first thing I see is that I don't know if I'm okay going to a doctor's office and seeing plants looking like they're partly dead, looking dry and thirsty. I thought that was a little of a no-no. Because how you think you're going to take care of patients and you can't even just water the plants to make sure the plants are okay. So I thought that was quite interesting. And so the girls, they're talking about how disrespectful Nicole was, of course. And they kind of describe Nicole as being a little bit manic in a way. Like, she was doing too much. Like, all this extra stuff she's doing. And for what? And you know how Alexia's like, for what, bro? For what? And so it jumps scene to Nicole and Julia, and they're having a little quick of a girl chat. And, you know, she was thinking, pretty much, Nicole was thinking how the event was such a mess, and that, you know, she wants to have a fun event. And she thinks that she's the one who's going to create a fun event by taking the girls on a good girl trip to Bahamas. And I'm like, all the girl trips so far has been just messy. So if Nicole, you think you can do it, try. I'm going to watch, but you could go ahead and try. And it jumps back to the scene with Alexia and Marisol. Oh, by the way, any scene with Julia, I'm like not that interested. I'm like, come on, Julia. I want you to be the main, not just the support. I need you to have your moment. So anyways, back to the scene with Alexia and Marisol. Alexia, she had already planned with Nicole to do a gringo dinner a few weeks ago. So she's like, I'm not going to be tacky and disinvite her. She's not going to do what Nicole did to Larsa. She's not that kind of girl. But she is kind of expecting an apology from her. And I'm like, I don't even think this girl think that she did anything wrong. So while they're in the middle of a doctor's office, Marisol is like, I'm going to give you the shot, Alexia. Come, I'm going to give you the shot. And Alexia's like, no, bro. You're not a doctor, bro. And she wants to know what's in the needle. And I want to know too, like, what's in this needle that has these two girls jumping around in this office. And it's pretty much, it contains like a fat burner. And the way she wants to inject the shot, she wants to inject it right on the booty cheeks. So of course the girls are extra. They do what they do, and we love it. We love them for that. And Marisol, she gives Alexia the shot, and Alexia, after all the hysteria, Alexia is like, girl, bro, you should be a doctor. You're so I'm like, Alexia and Marisol, their friendship is so funny to watch. But this was so not necessary. I wish they took us on a different scene. I like to see, everything that goes around in Miami. Now I don't want to go to no fat doctor's office. No. So we get a scene with Adriana and Julia. And yes, the girls, they picked the right scenery. They went to a Baccarat restaurant and store. And I'm like, it is so beautiful. The opulence, first of all, the opulence is what I like to see. Okay, girls? The opulence. Take notes. I don't want to go to no fat doctor. I don't want to go to no Burger King. I don't want to go to none of... Maybe I want to go to the Burger King. But I want to see opulence. And of course, the girls got to talk about Alexia's lunch. And pretty much, Adriana, she's going through it. She's going through it, guys. She says she's been having nightmares about the party, and it's been hard on her. And I think she's genuine about it because she has such a long friendship with Alexia and Marisol, and they just don't understand why they keep doing this. Like she feels like they're doing too much, but they gotta make a show. They have to, do something to make the show interesting. And I think Adriana's just tired to be on the end of it. Like, why y'all have to go after her happiness? Like, she's just trying to be happy, just like Alexia and Marisol. She wants to have her man and be in peace. She's not going through the gossip to figure out who's Todd and who's Marisol arranged to. Like, she's not into all of that drama. She's like very chill. The most that Adriana does, she just goes after Larsa and her body. But that's pretty much it. I feel like Adriana, she's mild, and she's just tired. The girl is tired. She says, pick someone else. Don't pick me. Don't pick me. Don't pick my friends. Pick Larsa. And so we get a scene with Marisol and Alexia, and pretty much, they discuss Alexia and Marisol, and they kind of said something interesting. Adriana, she feels like at the party it was too overwhelming, and I felt that she was genuine about that, and that if they're gonna spend time with those girls, that they have to go to like a cleansing store. So I thought, that's interesting, because cleansing store here in Miami means something else than what it means in some other places, so that's a little foreshadow based on what's gonna happen in the next episode. So then Julia, she talks about some troubles moving forward. She's going through, she wants to go through the adoption process. And she opens up and say that her daughters, they're not really on board for adoption, which it's great that they gave their daughters a kind of have their opinion even be considered, because most of the time people just do what they want to do, but it's good that they involve their kids. So Julia is coming from a really good place, but then on top of that, she does not feel like she'll be successful at being able to adopt because of her being in a same-sex marriage and being a same-sex couple. So what she's thinking is that she's gonna go with probably like a smaller agency in which their requirements she would be able to actually meet. So she's planning to move forward. I'm curious to where that stands today, but of course we'll find that out soon enough. So we then get a scene with Larsa going over to Lisa's home, and Lisa is pretty much having a rough morning. Larsa, she sees Lisa and she looks like she's getting skinnier. She looks skinnier, like she doesn't look like she's been taking care of it. She looks glamorous on the outside, but it's like frail looking. She's kind of sad about that. And Larsa's like, no, you can't let this sadness jeopardize your health. You need to get it together. And Lisa, she she had some more bad news to share. She said that Lenny is trying to get her out. He's trying to get the court to order her and her kids to move into a rental. And, that is too much. Like, this is all happening in a month for her. So that's like a whirlwind of events happening all at once. And, Lisa's pointing out to Larsa, saying that her ex didn't do that to her. And Larsa says, yeah, he never done that to her, but it doesn't mean it wasn't hard in the beginning. It for sure took like months and months and months. And, she kind of questioned, is it better for it to happen all at once or for it to be dragged out? And, Larsa, she talks more a little bit about her divorce and saying that, there was a lot of speculation of her cheating. And it was hard for her because people didn't know that her and her ex were actually no longer together. And then that they painted her actually as a villain, which was super hard for her family. And I could totally understand that. So she can relate that to Lisa and her situation. And, Lisa is like, Lenny is making her sick. Like, Larsa says to Lisa that Lenny is making her sick and that, it's just Lisa and the kids now and that you should focus and strategize and have that mindset. And, it's still not clicking for Lisa and you can see that. And I'm like, girl, you got to see that sooner rather than later because those kids are going to need mama. They're going to need you, which is crazy. So we finally actually get back to the scene from the beginning where it's the couple's date. And I'm like, oh yes, finally back to the drama. So the couples that are there is Alexia and Todd, Marisol and her man, Nicole and Anthony, Gertie and Russell, and they're all together on a date. So Alexia, she is kind of shocked that she's like, damn, Nicole, you really showed up. Like, I mean, I don't think Nicole I think Nicole, if she was not going to show up, she would at least have notified the group saying, hey guys, I'm not going to make it. So I don't know why Alexia is shocked. Alexia, she likes to do too much. But, it's interesting because Alexia, she's still nice and polite to Nicole. They have good banter in the beginning. Alexia asks if Nicole is teaching her son Spanish. And, No. Alexia asked Nicole if she's teaching her son Spanish. And then Nicole says pretty much her son speaks better Spanish than her and her husband. And it's not like, the regular street Spanish. It's more of the, the proper textbook Spanish. And so the theme of the date is pretty much about the gringos. And everyone is trying to weigh out who's more of the gringo, who's less of a gringo. And I'm just looking at the food and I'm like, yes, sweet plantains, yum. Like, who does not like Cuban food? But, I'm like, damn, Marisol, you don't eat anything. Like, Marisol is not eating. She's like, she's on a liquid diet. And I'm like, ugh. That's like the worst kind of person to come on events with you. Like, if I have a group of girls that coming out, I want you guys to eat. Like, don't hold back and say, oh, you gotta watch your figure. I understand the food is fatty, but still, like, you gotta live, girl. You gotta live to enjoy the food. Don't live to just be skinny. No, ma'am. So they asked Russell and say, oh, you've been a fireman for such a long time. And, Russell says he's actually eligible to retire. But, Russell, he doesn't seem like a type that would retire. Even though Marisol says, yes, you're going to retire. I love retirement. It's such a good thing. Russell doesn't seem like the type. Russell looks like the type he's going to continue working, keep busy, and he has like a structure. He is such a good husband to Gertie. So I felt like, Marisol, mind your business, pretty much. So Nicole asked him, has he ever been a part of the calendar, the firefighter calendar where they pose? And he says no. And then that also draws too many fans. And he's like, no, he would never. And I'm like, yes, that's good husband material. But Gertie is like, I want to show off my man. And I want the girls to see my man. And I'm like, girl, no. Russell is such a good man. Let him do what he does already. And just be a good husband, a good father to his kids. And so Alexia, she opens up about they asked Alexia like what's the update with her. And Alexia, she opens up and talks about the charity event and how the Demoyas have opened up opportunities for Frankie to match him up with an employer. And what I've noticed with Alexia is that she never mentions her other son. You know, her other son is problematic, but I wonder if he noticed. Like, I would wonder, like, as a son, like, maybe he said to her, don't talk about me on the show. Keep me out the show. I don't want people to be into my life as much, which is understandable and is nice that she respects that. But I also wonder if it bothers him that she doesn't really mention him at all. But anyways, she tells how Frankie has been doing and asks, like, pretty much how she pretty much says to the girls, like, you know, Frankie, he has these opportunities now, but you know, it's interesting that he was there at the event, like he was upstairs at the event and he heard everything. So I'm like, oh no, this is the segue to attack Nicole. And all I'm thinking is to get my popcorn. And so Alexia said it was supposed to be about family law. Like, that was the purpose of asking questions as it relates to family law. And she says it in a kind of sweet, mean way. And Nicole, she just continues to eat as she should. I would. I mean, good food is there. I'm going to eat. And, you know, it's interesting. She says to her that you didn't say anything. You could have asked anything. And, you know, Alexia makes it a big deal that Nicole asked such a question about defamation to a family law attorney. And I'm like trying to figure out what's the real issue here, because this still is not making sense. Like, yeah, she asked the question and yeah, she made a big spectacle about it. But is it really because she asked a question outside of family law? Like, you guys have to stay in one agenda, stay on one focus, because the group is kind of like sporadic. They go through this, they go through that, but at the end of the day, they have a good time, and you know, that's the whole point. But you know, it's interesting because she's really, really bothered, and I'm trying to figure out why. And you know, Nicole's husband speaks up and said, well, the question is, okay, what if others didn't know what defamation meant? And this is kind of like a hint, little jab to Larsa. And I'm like, no, please, Anthony, don't get involved, because you don't want to start. And I'm like, these are a group of women. Let the women get into the thing. But I understand he wants to defend his wife. And so Alexia, she gets specific on what's her real issue. And it's pretty much, it's the way that Nicole went in her purse and grabbed her Black American Express card. Is it Black American Express card? What is it called? It's a black card. She pretty much pulled the black card. And she said, that was so unprofessional. And I expect professionalism from you, Nicole. And, you know, Alexia goes on, and then Marisol says, like, yeah, that was so rude. I said, yes, Marisol, have your friends back, because you didn't have your friends back the previous episode. You left her hanging, but it's good that you have her back now. And then pretty much in between all that, Anthony asks, like, is there dessert here? Like, I'm like, that's a good question, actually, because I didn't see dessert pull out. They just ate pretty good food, and I didn't see the dessert. And so the men start looking at each other as the women argue. Marisol's man, Todd, and Russell. And Alexia let it be known that, you know, and we didn't know this, because I thought it was just Alexia who was offended because she has some issues with Nicole. But she says that the attorney was actually offended. So that sets off for Anthony to say that if that is the case, let me send him some flowers. Or matter of fact, let me send him some chocolates. And I'm like, the way he said it, it was so snarky. I'm like, If anything, no. You could at least start off with saying sorry, not say, oh, what you gonna do, like this and that. Damn. So that's when Todd starts to speak up. And I'm like, oh no, because when Todd gets to speaking, he's speaking some sense. I like Todd so far. So far in all franchises, no Todd has been a bad Todd. All of them been good Todds. And Todd says that is his attorney friend for over And they have been good friends for over 30 years. Okay, it's a long friendship. So I can understand why Alexia is upset, because she's standing up for her man. Like, you could do what you do to Alexia, but when it comes to her man, like, she's already protecting that man. Like, no, 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 no. And Todd goes on to say that he is a real attorney, not those attorneys that's plastered on billboards and trying to fix leaky pipes. He's not one of that. That was shade. I was like, ooh, Todd, you throwing some shade. And Anthony is just like looking. I'm like, Anthony, are you not catching the shade that he is giving to you? Like, damn. And he goes on to say he is a true attorney, his friend. And Todd is right. And when he gets mad, I'm like, Todd is right. Like, he always talking some sense. Alexia got a good husband. Like, good job, Alexia. So now it comes out from Todd's mouth, because that's Todd's friend. And Todd said his friend was offended. His friend told him that he was offended. So Todd took some shots. And what finally hit Anthony is that he says, oh, Anthony, you are pretty much a small-time attorney. You work in a law firm of 3 people. And his friend worked for a big law firm. Big budgets, okay? Big budgets. And then Anthony, he gets offended. And he gets not only offensive, he gets condescending. And, it's not clicking to him. Like, Todd is trying to say to him, like, my friend's a man. Like, why would you send a grown man chocolates and flowers? That's so condescending. That's offensive. That's rude. And, Nicole's strategy is, she says, how I was supposed to know that you were bothered? Like, how was I supposed to know? And, I'm like, Nicole, just say sorry. And Marisol just says, just say sorry. Just say sorry. Like, not one time the people just say sorry. They have to, like, go through it. They have to argue. Like, that's too much. So I'm agreeing with Marisol. I say, yes, Marisol, jump in, help your friend. But this is like, your friend got this. Alexia got this with her man. They good. They don't need you, Marisol. They good. And Nicole says, pretty much, and her go-to strategy, like, that was not her intention. It's all about intention. And I'm like, Nicole, you lost this one, girl. You perdido this one. This one is lost. This one is perdi. This is like gone. Whew, that was too much for me, guys. But anyways, we get a scene with Julia. And I'm like, another scene with Julia. This is Julia on her own. And, I'm going to say this. I'm a little bit tired of seeing Julia. It's such a filler scene. The scene wasn't not scening. It wasn't giving what it's supposed to give. But I am happy for her, because she does go for what she wants. And pretty much, first of all, I got to mention this. Her setup to do the FaceTime call with the adoption center on a box. I'm like, why? I'm like, you could have just left the laptop on the table. Like, they didn't need the box, but okay. So pretty much, she has a conversation with one of the people who works at the All About Love adoption. And it's good news. Pretty much, they work with same-sex couples, and they're one of the first to do so. So this is good for Julia, good news for Julia, because, it can help progress her being able to adopt Martina, and she feels this is the first time she's gonna have a partner who wants to have a child with her. And I thought, because she has 3 kids already with other people, but she never felt like the partners wanted to have the kids with her. So that's a good experience for her. I can go for the ride, Julia, but I think Julia needs to be a friend of the show. Like, I don't know if she's giving okay, maybe too soon. Let's give her some time. We then get a scene with Alexia and Frankie. Every time we get a scene with Frankie, he's gonna give us a look. He knows how to dress down, and he matches with his mama. Like, they look always drippy. They give a good look. And so pretty much they go to the Demoya Foundation, and the Demoya brothers and their partner, I think it's the mom, I'm not too sure, is helping Frankie find a job to be more independent. So they get into a talk of being more independent. And the first thing they have to get out the way is about transportation. Because if you're trying to do something that requires independence, you have to be able to get to that something, So they asked Frankie if he ever have taken an Uber and a Lyft. And he says no, because he's actually scared. He is scared to do so. And you know what was so sweet is that the brothers, they reassured him and say that is fine, that is normal, and that they will help him build the confidence where he will be comfortable to do so. And it's like a sweet moment. It was like a sweet, like I can imagine being a mother to Frankie and hearing your son being scared to take transportation. And you know, Alexia cannot baby him because she understands at some point that she's not gonna always be there for him and that he has to be able to live on his own. And you know, I understand her fears because, you know, remember, Frankie, he was in a car accident. So I can understand why she feels the need to keep him super safe, but she understands that this will be a detriment to him if she doesn't support him becoming more independent. So that was a really good scene, you know. That was a sweet scene, a real scene about what Alexia goes through. That's why Alexia is the housewife. She lets us know what's in her life. Like, she shows us the good, the bad, and the ugly. She shows us all of this. I respect that with her. And then after, we get a Philistine with Grady. I'm like, girl, bye. There was nothing interesting in that scene. Like, she just showed her kids show her a turtle and how she was a little afraid of the turtle. I'm like, this is such a Philistine. Like, Grady, don't do this. Don't play in my face like this. But then we get into some good tea with a FaceTime with Nicole. And Nicole, she pretty much lets her know that she wants to grab wine with Alexia to address some things to make it better, to make it work, because she wants to have a good time with the group. Like, she's tired of this back and forth, not having a good time. I'm having a good time, but I do agree that, you know, some of the arguments are a little bit petty, but I really do think Nicole can make the situation better by realizing, okay, just apologize, you know, simply as that. So I'm hoping that her and Nicole, Alexia and Nicole, are able to address things and get to a better place. So we then see the girls' night at the nightclub 11 with Lisa, Larsa, and Kiki. And I'm like, that's when I realized I didn't see Kiki this whole episode. Thank you. I love a scene with Kiki. Kiki is a great friend in the show. She is doing what she's supposed to do. She makes these girls have a good time. And I would like to see a little bit more into Kiki's life. And I wonder how she would do as a housewife. But, you know, I like her as a friend of the show. So we can leave it at that. So Larsa, you know, she's bringing the girls to the club. She's being there for her girl. Because, you know, Lisa has been going through it. And Larsa said, let's get out the house. So Lisa's in the club. And I'm like, how is it going to be? Because I feel like it's still a little too soon for Lisa. But I understand that she shouldn't just stay up in the house all the time. And, you know, Lisa, she gets into how she hasn't been single. She's usually not single for long. Usually she's scooped up by a man, you know. And this is quite new for her. So the girls are thinking, well, this could be your time. That maybe we could find you someone here tonight. But the club is like dead. There's like no one at the club. So interesting question that Larsa asked Lisa is, and I didn't even think about this. She asked Lisa if she would hook up with Lenny if, you know, things were to happen. And Lisa, she doesn't shut it down quickly, and Larsa laughs because she knows she would. She knows she would go back with Lenny like that. And I'm thinking, well, it's only been a month. I mean, he did drag her through the media, and he does have a mistress. So I don't know. I don't know if she would change. I don't know. That's a tough question to ask. And, you know, it was interesting to see that Lisa doesn't shoot it down. And, you know, the girls, they say, we're looking for a man for Lisa. And they all here for it. And so they order some food at the club because they're going to be drinking a lot, trying to have a good time. And it comes up that Lisa says she's been working her body out. She's been working on her fitness. And I do think it's because she wants to look the best ever, like even better than the girl that Lenny is with. But then she tells us that her trainer dropped her, and it's because Lenny is paying for that trainer to work out with the mistress instead. I'm like, Lenny is so petty. Like, that is doing too much. Like, you, and Larsa is funny. She's like, damn, Lenny, like, that is too petty. Like, you want her to just get fat. Like, is that revenge for you? Like, if you don't want her, no one else can want her, so you don't want her to be looking good for anybody else? That man is too petty. So, they're in the club, and Lisa goes on and on and on about Lenny. I'm like, we're at the club. We're supposed to be dancing. Come on, girls. But she still loves Lenny. But at the same time, she hates him. And I think the hate is just really because of this situation and what he's putting her through. Otherwise, Lisa, she people please. Lisa would always, if Lenny wanted to, Lisa was going to make it work. Lisa was in it for the long run. And thank you, Kiki, for shutting it down. Kiki said, I'm here to have fun. Let's go dancing. And Kiki gets on the pole. She said, no more talking about Lenny. No. The tonight is not about Lenny. And I'm like, thank you, Kiki. I'm happy these girls are here for Lisa. Because Lisa, she's, ooh-wee. That's something else. So now we finally see Nicole and Alexia going into their meetup. And, Nicole says she had no idea that Alexia was upset. Like, if she had known, that she would have addressed Alexia sooner. But, Alexia, she makes a great point. She says, you can't say sorry and then but. Like, you can't do that. Like, just be sorry, period. And it doesn't seem like it's in Nicole's nature, because she says she's stubborn. She's hard-headed. So, naturally, Nicole, she does that. She says sorry, but... And that's just her. And it's interesting. Alexia calls Nicole a narcissist. And, Nicole doesn't call Alexia out when she said that. I feel like Nicole, what she does, she holds it in her back pocket until when you really get her upset. And then she reads you down or do some shady stuff that's petty and stuff like that. But, it's interesting because I don't like that she says that she's sorry, that she's truly sorry. But in her confessionals, it doesn't seem like she gives sorry. She gives like all this attitude like, I don't feel genuinely sorry. It's just like a whole bunch of excuses. But in comparison to Alexia, it feels like Alexia, she really wants to move forward and have fun with this girl. Because she said, why couldn't we do this sooner? To her at the meeting. But even in her confessional, she's like, yes, I'm happy we can move forward and have fun times. And she wants to have fun times with Nicole. So it seems like they're on two different pages, okay? It seems like Alexia is ready to have fun, let go, and let God. But Nicole seemed like if you set her off again, she's gonna go back and throw that in your face again. So I feel like we gotta keep an eye on that. It doesn't seem like genuine friendship. As much as Nicole says she wants to have genuine friendship, it doesn't feel that way. At least it doesn't for me. I don't know. I don't think so. So she brings up saying that, by the way, since we're gonna be on good pages now, we're moving forward, I'm excited for this Bahamas trip. She wants all the girls to be on good pages to go to the Bahamas trip and just have fun, good girl time. And, she did mention that Lisa is a little bit hesitant to go because she doesn't want to leave the home and have Lenny bring the mistress over. That doesn't give her peace of mind. So that's something that, to take consider of for the next episode. But we get a flashback. No, not a flashback. We get a flash forward of the trip. And, Alexia and Nicole making it sound like it's going to be fun. It's going to be good. The girls are going to get along. And then we just see terror and tragedy. And then someone getting wheeled off in a wheelchair. Who is that? Like, oh my God, I love this franchise. Couldn't be any better. It's like they really did that. And I'm excited again for next week for the Real Housewives of Miami. I hope you enjoyed this recap. If you do, please share to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe, girl. Please, join the crew. So I can't wait to talk to you guys next week on the Real Housewives of Miami. Enjoy and have a great night. Bye-bye.